Hi guys, my name is Solaris, and today I'm going to be sitting down and chatting with you guys about my all-time favorite, my absolute essentials when it comes to making music as an independent R&B artist from Jersey. So a little bit about me before I start. I am an R&B artist. I just released my first album in April of 2026, and it's called Solar Ascension. It's all about my own spiritual awakening that I went through during, my teenage years, my younger years, and even up to now. It reflects on a lot of the experiences I've had that were very hard and difficult and grueling, but it made me stronger, it made me more resilient, and it made me a more powerful person who's able to stand in her power and know that even though I've been through a lot, I've also came out the victor in every situation that I've been through. So it reflects on a lot of romantic relationships I've had, and I've never been in one, but romantic connections, I'll say. It reflects on the abuse that I've endured as a kid. It reflects on a lot of different topics, and I would say from start to finish, it is a journey. It takes listeners through a whole entire journey, and it has 18 or 17 songs, I think, and I produced 9 of them on that album. So I call myself, and I am very much a singer-songwriter, but I'm also a producer. And when I'm making my own songs, I try to make a world around every single song that I create, making it feel like it truly is you're immersing yourself into that experience that I'm reflecting on in the songwriting. So my very first essential when it comes to making music as an R&B independent artist is most definitely using my favorite doll, which is Ableton. I've used Ableton since 2023, I want to say, 2022 or 2023, I want to say, because I started my new program at NYU called Collaborative Arts that year. And that was what we learned in our music production classes, and I've stuck with it since then. I used to use GarageBand, and I also used to use UJam. If you know, you know about UJam. That was my favorite app growing up to make music on. And then I also used Logic for a little bit of time, but it didn't really mesh well with my creation process. I really do love Ableton. It's so versatile, and it's user friendly once you learn the interface. And then another essential, obviously, if for at home recordings, which I do a lot of my recordings at home, is my Volt 1 audio interface. I used to have a Focusrite. I would always get problems with it, so I sold it and bought this one instead. And then I recently just bought some studio monitors for my room so that it's easier for me to mix and listen to my mixes in my room. And I got some lighting for my room as well, a microphone. For Christmas a few years ago, my parents actually got me a microphone, condenser microphone, and a microphone stand, the pop filter. So yeah, I definitely need Ableton. I definitely need my audio interface, my microphone, my studio monitors. The studio monitors are definitely a plus. I worked without studio monitors for many years, but I decided to make that investment in myself and in my artistry because I knew that it would be worth it. I knew that it would be worth it, and I absolutely love my studio monitors now. I'm so grateful that I was able to buy it. So my second essential when it comes to recording and curating my own music at home as an independent artist is my distributor. I use Green Tea Distro, and they are absolutely amazing. I feel like they're very personable, and I'm able to feel like I'm not just putting and releasing my music out into the void. It's actually being supported by real people that are passionate about music and are passionate about creating a safe space, a supportive space for independent artists much like myself. A lot of the times they have playlisted my music. They have sent me, amazing deals for mixing and mastering and recording time, studio time. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to have such an amazing distributor after trial and error with TuneCore and trial and error with DistroKid. I've tried both, and I just didn't feel really supported by the network, by the website, by the program that they run. I just felt like my music was literally just going into the void. And with Green Tea Distro, I do not feel that way at all. If you are looking to switch over to a different distributor, Green Tea Distro is the moment, okay? And now, if you do want to switch, just let me know. I have a referral code I can put on the screen and in the description box below. You can always DM me with any questions or Green Tea Distro directly. They are so personable and they will definitely answer your questions with gusto. So, speaking of distributors, another platform that has been so supportive of my journey as an independent artist is most definitely Tidal. Okay, Tidal is absolutely amazing. As I started using Tidal Upload as soon as it was launched, honestly, because I got the email and I jumped on the opportunity. I took a bet on myself and it worked. It worked. I got spotlighted, I got playlisted, and because of that, not only did I get paid, I also got paid in mentorship. I also got paid in collaborations. I also got paid in new friendships with people that are also using Tidal Upload to further their career and have a platform that truly cares about independent artists. I will always and forever shout out from the rooftops how grateful I am to Tidal for seeing my vision as an artist and for spotlighting my music mesmerized and um just giving me so much love and appreciation. I felt more appreciation and just support from Tidal than I did with TuneCore, than I did with DistroKid. And I've been using that since I started releasing music. So not only do I love Green Tea Distro, I love Tidal. They are so just incredible with their support for independent artists and making sure that we are feeling seen, we are feeling heard, we are feeling loved, and getting the cosign from the editorial team. It feels amazing because it's a very tight knit team of editorial, editors at Tidal. And to know that they are listening to every single upload that is uploaded onto Tidal Upload, that to me is amazing. They get hundreds of submissions each week and they listen to every single one, and you have my word on that because they told me directly. But yeah, I really love Tidal. I always put my uploads on there, I always put my demos on there just to kind of feel out how people are going to respond to it. And to my surprise, people actually have discovered my music from Tidal Upload. People have reached out to me on Reddit even. They reached out to me on Reddit and said, "Hey, like I found your music on Tidal. I really love it. I can't wait to see what you do in the future." And people even found me on Twitter as well and told me that. And I was just like, "Wow. You truly never know who's going to be discovering your music and where they're going to be discovering it from." So I always tell people around me, I have so many peers of mine that make music because I went to school for it. And I always tell everybody, get on it. Put your music on Tidal Upload. You never know who's going to reach it. You never know who's going to listen to it and love it and want to hear more from you. I always tell everyone that. And I'm patiently waiting for everyone else to just, get on it because I want to see the people around me win as well. One thing about me, I do not gatekeep. I don't. I don't believe in gatekeeping. I believe that if I can win, that means everyone else can win as well. There's no competition here. I know my skill set. I know how talented I am. I know how dedicated I am. I know how devoted I am. But that does not mean that I have to gatekeep the tools that I have used to get to where I am. That's just not the way that I work. I believe in community and I believe in, sharing um, my tips, sharing my skills, sharing my, everything that has worked for me can work for other people in their own regard. So I don't believe in gatekeeping, and I will always say it. Tidal is the best for discovering new music, for putting new people on to your music, whether it be old music that you haven't released yet or new music that you're working on and you want to test it out. It's such a great asset to an independent artist, and I will always recommend it to anybody. Even if you're just starting out, because you truly do have to start somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So my next essential, besides my distributor, besides my Tidal, collaborations, besides my at-home recording studio, is having a notebook on me at all times. I always have a notebook on me because number one, my memory not so good. I always have to write things down in order for me to remember it because if I don't write it down, it is out of sight, out of mind. Truly. So I have so many notebooks. This is one of them. This is my little notebook that I bring with me everywhere. It's running out, so I have to get a new one. But I got this my first semester at Collaborative Arts, and yeah, I've used it. I only recently started using it the beginning of this year, so it's almost done because it's June now. We're halfway through the year. But I love writing down lyrics in there, ideas, notes, anything that I need to remember when it comes to my artistry. I write it down, even if it's in my notes app. But I'm more of a person who remembers things when it's written physically down with a pen and paper. But to each their own. Some people use notes app, some people use physical, like typing it down in their computer. I just carry a notebook with me because it makes it easier and it's more lightweight. But yeah, I have so many notebooks. That is a like top essential for me because I love songwriting. It's a really like for me when I'm making my music, sometimes a lot of the times, honestly, I'm channeling. I'm channeling and I'm getting whatever information, whatever downloads I'm getting from the divine, from my divine light that is connected to, the powers that be, the universe, whoever you believe in. I believe personally in channeling my higher self, channeling messages from my ancestors to me, channeling messages from God to me. And I don't view God in the way that I don't view God as the God in the Bible. I view God as the God who has brought me through trials and tribulations, who has literally, and I'll tell the story of this in another video, but when I was in the hospital when I was 19, it was very spiritual. Like my doctor's name was Christian, my nurse's name was Mary, my roommate's name in the psych ward, her name was Faith, and my other roommate's name was Christina. And on top of that, they told me that I was going on the other side of the hospital. And I thought that I was gonna, you know what I'm saying? But no, that just meant that I was literally just going to the psych ward. Right. Um, yeah, I talk about this a little bit more extensively in my song, I Am Not a God. But I say all that to say, when I'm writing my music, I'm not just writing. I'm getting information directly from my crown chakra to my paper, to my pen and paper. I'm channeling a lot of the times when I'm writing, and it's not that I'm just like, you know, get writing anything random down. I don't, the music comes to me and I am just a vessel for it, is the best way I can put it. So in order to keep track of all of the downloads, all of the messages, all of the music that I get sent to me into my consciousness, I have to write it down because if not, it's going to go to some other artist. It's literally going to go to some other artist. If you think about it, consciousness is literally just, we are all pulling from the same pool of creativity, of consciousness. And that is why people are always like, when you are thinking thoughts, when you're meditating, you're just watching the thoughts pass through your mind. Where do you think the thoughts are coming from? Consciousness. And I can talk about that in another video, but I say all that to say a notebook, definitely essential for me. Definitely essential for me in the way that I operate, in the way that I do my songwriting. Now, sometimes I don't even write it down. Sometimes I just record and see what comes to mind and see what comes from my mind to my mouth into the mic. It just really just depends on the song and the day and the mood that I'm in. Okay, so we talked about Tidal, Green Tea Distro, my at-home recording studio setup, and we talked about my notebook. Now another essential, headphones, okay? I am always listening to my demos. I listen to them all the time. I probably listen to them more than I listen to regular music, or maybe equally as much. So I use the Untitled app as well. So headphones and the Untitled app is my next essential because the Untitled app allows me to make playlist of my music and figure out what order of music of songs I want in my albums because I'm working on multiple albums at once right now because I originally had just one album, Solar Ascension, but then I figured, okay, this is more than 15, 20 songs. This is more than 20 songs. It's very long, so I split it up and I've been recording some more music so that it can be a 3-act project now. Because even before it was a 3-act project, it was a 3-part album at first. But even then, it was very long. So I split it up and I made more music to make it so that it's an era of Solar Ascension with multiple albums. Anyway, I am always listening to my demos, and because of that, I have to always have headphones on me. Now, I would not recommend any of Apple products for headphones. They're really bad, they're really poorly designed and really poorly made. But it's what I've got and it's what I'm using right now. But I have the AirPod Maxes. I never use them anymore because they're always malfunctioning. And I also have AirPod Pros. Those are always falling out my ear. But to not complain so much in this video, I love having headphones on me. I love using the Untitled app because it allows me to switch around and play around with how I want my album to be designed in terms of the set list, in terms of the track list, in terms of the order of songs and the journey I want readers and the journey I want listeners, excuse me, to be on. So another essential when it comes to making my independent R&B music is most definitely being a social butterfly. And I'm talking directly to my introverts here because I used to think that I was an introvert. Turns out I was just severely depressed. I'm a social butterfly. I love talking to people. I love working in retail because it allows me to have conversations with people. And I love going to shows and performing at shows and getting to know everyone's stories. That's one of my favorite things. If you didn't know this about me, when I was in high school and middle school, I did a lot of writing. I did a lot of journalism in my younger years. And so storytelling is a huge core part of my personality. I love getting to know where people are from, what their stories are, and really who they are as people. That's my favorite thing to do ever. When I'm not making music, when I'm not acting, when I'm not writing, when I'm not being a creative, I love being a listener and I love being a storyteller. So just being a social butterfly is really essential for me as an artist because you never know who you're going to meet. You literally never know who you're going to meet, who's going to be a essential part of your life story, of your path, of your destiny. So just the other day on Valentine's Day, right, a few months ago, I was really sad. I was feeling a little bit heartbroken. I was feeling a little bit disappointed because somebody ghosted me, right, on Valentine's Day. I had a show that day and I invited her and she didn't come, right? And I was feeling sad. So I went back home from New York and I went back to Jersey. I went to Starbucks. I got myself a treat. I charged my phone and I met this amazing entrepreneur named Kina. And she does perfume and candle making classes. And so we ended up, fast forward, I ended up going to her perfume making class in April. I took my mom and my aunt there. And yeah, and lo and behold, as I'm at the perfume making class, another R&B artist, Miss Denise of the Sky Sisters of the band Sky, from the 70s. They had that song, Call Me, dun-ka-dun, dun-ka-dun, Call Me. They have that song and a bunch of other hit songs. Um, she was at the perfume making class. And so now she's one of my mentors. I recall very often and she gives me advice and I talk about, my life and my experiences and she talks about hers. And it's just really beautiful, the way that life works. I truly am a firm believer in the fact that in the idea of the universe putting you in places at the right time with the right people with the right story with the right message that you need to hear, because if I had not gone to that perfume making class, if I had not made that conversation with Kina at the Starbucks, I would not have had this beautiful new mentorship. I would have, it just would have been another day. But everything, I really do believe that everything happens for a reason. I meet everybody in my life for a reason and it helps me in the best way possible, even if in the in the moment it feels like heartbreak, it feels like this, it feels like that, it all leads to something bigger. So I'm a firm believer, if you are an artist, you have to get over yourself. Get over the fear of being judged, get over the social anxiety, get over the introvert feeling, and put yourself out there because you literally never know who's going to enter your life and change it for the better. My next essential, guys, my next essential is NJ Transit because I'm from Jersey and all of the shows that I do are oftentimes in New York. And I don't have a car. I don't have a license. I don't drive yet. So I definitely I spend a lot of money on NJ Transit tickets. I really do. And I hate to say it, but I hate NJ Transit so bad. They're so terrible. They're so poorly disorganized. They are disorganized and they're rude and it's not a good system. But you know what? I got to do it. I got to work with it because that's the way that I get to New York pretty much every week. I'm there every single week. I love New York. I truly do want to move back. But until then, I'm in Jersey. I'm in my childhood home and I'm chilling with my parents and my sister and my family. Okay. But NK Transit is a definite essential for me because I'm always doing shows. I keep myself busy. And in order for me to travel to New York, I need a NK Transit ticket and I need that stupid ass Omni card. I hate the Omni card. Bring back the MTA card, the Metro card. I miss that shit. It was so cute. So cute. My goodness. My next essential as an independent R&B artist is social media. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Reels, Shorts, all of that. I post on every single one of them. Twitter, I've met so many friends from TikTok. Can you believe that I've met friends on TikTok? I met Gabri on TikTok, and we were making music now. We're supporting each other at shows. I met Shia Vine on TikTok, and we want to hang out sometime soon, in our respective states and such. It's I'm just so grateful for TikTok. I'm so grateful for social media because as a social butterfly, you have to imagine me making money depends on how I hate to say it, how liked I am, how well received I am on social media and in person. And I like to make sure that my social media presence is translating into in-person events. And it's been working. It's been working. And some people even message me on TikTok. Like Rainielle, she messaged me on TikTok and she's like, Sage, like your music, it makes me, feel it resonates and that really that hits home for me because I remember feeling that way with a lot of my favorite artists and just feeling like, oh my goodness, if I were to ever meet them, I want them to know how special their music is to me. And people come to me regularly and tell me that, and that to me, I'm just so grateful for it. So to all of my Solarians who are watching, thank you so much for all of your love and support. And I am so appreciative of your listening ears and your open heart for my story and for my messages that I put out into my music. I'm so grateful for you all. Thank you. So that was the last essential. Thank you so much for listening to today's video. If you're watching on TikTok, if you're watching on Instagram, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching and have a great blessed day. Just know that my debut album is out now. Solar Ascension is out now. But I also have a second album's Act 2. It's coming out on August 8th, 2026. So I'm very, very excited for you guys to hear the next chapter of this journey of solar ascension. The second album's Act 2 is called Wise Prophet of the Sun because if you didn't know, my album it's just a self-titled album, honestly. My So if you didn't know, Sage Solaris, it directly translates to wise prophet of the sun. So that's why I'm naming my second album that. I want it to be a self-titled album. It's very much classic, contemporary, like real, like true R&B music. Has a lot of love songs. It has a lot of intuitive feelings in it, and I'm just very excited for you guys to hear it. I definitely want to send out some early, listens to some listeners, to some Solarians. So if you do want to listen to the album pretty early on, just let me know and I can send you the Untitled link. But thank you so much for listening today, and I love you guys so much. Stay awesome, stay blessed, and keep shining. Bye.